Yes, hello everyone. This is Kajol Shah from the Next Genius Scholarship Program. We have Nithesh today with us. He is a scholar to Texas Christian University, TCU. He joined TCU in 2018 and this year he has graduated, and we have him here with us to have candid conversation about his journey, his experiences and his achievements, of course. So I would pass it over to Nithesh now, and I would like to ask him to give his brief introduction as well as talk about his journey from India to USA and also about his college life.
Yeah, thank you, Kajal. So, hey everyone, my name is Nithesh, and I am a senior computer science major, just graduated from TCU, and I initially, just like whoever's watching this video, I applied through the Next Genius portal, took the online test, and then gave my interview. But I've never been to Mumbai before. Never ever. And it was my first time coming there. So initially it was a bit hard for me to navigate through Mumbai, but then I found my place and then I came here. I went to TCU. I got a degree as a Bachelor of Combined Science. So it's kind of like computer science and math. And now I'm in the process of interviewing for multiple companies, and preferably start in a couple of weeks. That's a basic introduction about me. I'm not a person who likes to absolutely go out during college days or something. I prefer to mostly spend time by myself and just a couple of friends in our dorm, and just talk and don't not do anything much. But I can talk more about my campus life, but that's a brief introduction.
So yes, as you said that you used to be in your dorm and be with your friends, spend time with yourself. So talk about how is the dorm life? How of course first year students need to live on campus. So how was that experience? And did you move out of campus, or you were on campus for 4 years? How was it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in TCU, I think for me it was 2 years. The rule was 2 years to live on campus. And I'll tell you this: whenever you first move in, I think you'll spend first say 24 to 48 hours in your dorm, setting up your room and stuff. But then right after that, the festival starts absolutely, because there's going to be someone the moment you go out, and if you're going to go get coffee, you're going to talk to someone, and then you're going to make so many friends in your dorm building itself in the first 2 to 3 months. That's a fact. And some of these people, they will remain as your friends throughout your 4 years and beyond. But I'll tell you this: dorm life is really, really amazing, because it's not you go to school, you come back, you study, you sleep, it's repeat. It's more like an immersive experience where you have balls to go to, you have concerts to go to on campus, you have people to hang out with outside of class. Go around with your friends. What I'm saying is, it's you won't feel like you are living in a dorm, really. It kind of feels like a second home, where someone will be checking on you, are you okay? How are you doing, both mentally and physically? So yeah, but like I said, I used to, the first 2 or 3 years, I mostly spent time alone, but with just a couple of my friends. But then after that, it was time for me to find a job, right? So it was time for me to network. So I went outside of my comfort zone. I started talking to many, many people. And it's surprising, because the moment you start like coming out of your comfort zone and talking to many people. They're going to connect you to their peers. I'm not going to say friends, but peers who would help you in some way or the other. For example, I'll give you a really good example. One of my friends, he was a senior when I was a freshman, and he graduated, and he's now working at Microsoft. But then I reconnected with him in junior year, and he connected me with his recruiting team, and then I got an interview. So like that, when you like keep your peers in track, it really goes a long way, both personally and professionally. But coming back to dorm life, you'll have events in your floor, in your dorm, where there's like intramural sports. You'll have mentors. You have so much to learn. I'll tell you that. Coming to the US, initially I had the mentality about I used to watch Hollywood movies, so I know everything about America. But no, absolutely not. There's so much you'll learn on campus, and then there's so much celebration of life. I'll tell you that here. It's not dull. Never. Maybe during tests because it's nervous, but apart from that, it's really, really cool, to live on campus. And I would say, that's the reason, I lived on campus all my 4 years, even though I had the option of going out. You're required to live the first years, but the next 2 years you can go out. But then I lived on campus. So, yeah, that's my campus life.
Like your journey is really very interesting, I guess, and I'm sure we are going to have an interesting conversation going ahead in this particular session. So firstly, I would like to know a little more about how it is like to be an international student on campus. How are the professors, the faculty? Like, of course,
Yeah.
you talked about your friends, like your peers, but how it is with the professors and everyone?
Sure. So initially, the first shock for me was that the education system in India and the US, right? In India, you sit in one classroom, the professors rotate, but in the US, you rotate and the professors come to like the actual classroom. So that was like, that was probably the biggest like change for me academically. And with the professors, they're absolutely awesome. I mean, there might be some professors who prefer to stay in their own lane and then like only talk about work. But I've had multiple professors where we used to go get coffee or sometimes even go get dinner outside of school. And even now after I graduate, I still like call them and then touch base with how they're doing and stuff. And in class, there you might like for some classes, not for CS classes, but for like some other departments like English or history or psychology, you'll have many chances where you have to collaborate with like certain group of people, and that's like another way you make friends here, because even after you talk about like schoolwork, you invite them or they invite you like to get coffee or do something just for 5-10 minutes, and then you keep talking and then you make lifelong friends. So it's not a case where you only see them in school and then they're only your classmates, but I don't think there's such thing as classmates. They're more like I said, your friends, and they'll help you to learn how to talk to the professor initially, and go to office hours, and how would you like send emails, because in India when you go to the university, I don't think you use emails as as widely as they use here in school. That's like the primary mode of communication. So I learned that a lot too. But professors, they're really good. They'll help you outside of school. And if you talk to them about like not only schoolwork, if you're saying that, hey, I found this new technology that got released today, and then you just like talk, for 20-30 minutes. And then you build a rapport with them. So, and that lasts like very long. because I've seen multiple students come back to TCU after graduating, like after 10, 15 years. Um, and like now they're in super high positions, like directors or VPs of company. And then they come back and then they talk with us on how their life was in like the 1980s or the 1990s. And then we're like, whoa. But then, we'll get the same chance, I hope, because it's a really different dynamic between the professor and the student um, compared to India. And I've never gone to like college in India, so I wouldn't know like the process, like how the rapport is. But here, I absolutely love it.
That is
Yeah.
great. You also talked about that you lived on campus for like your 4 years, like entire year, till until you graduated. So we would
Yeah.
also love to know any popular spot or your favorite spot on campus, or about the food experience that you had on campus. So please go ahead and share that.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. Like during my junior and senior year, I think there were like 6 or 7 new restaurants around campus that came out. And you have many food places, like, oh my God, number of food places to go to. You have theme parks to go to. You have like basically anything you want, you'll have it within like say 5-6 mile radius. It's not a huge distance that you have to go to, unless you have to go to the airport. But anyway, so yeah, my favorite spot I would say is this Mexican restaurant in campus called Fuzzy's, and I have gone there probably the same amount of times as I did with my campus dining, because like I've gone there so many times, me and my roommates, that we literally know every person working there personally with their name. And then whenever we go there, they're like, "Oh, the usual," and then we're like, "Yeah, the usual." That's it. Like we don't even need to like specify our order. And one more thing that I noticed is that they're really, what do you call it? The waiters are really passionate. Like the people who wait on you in restaurants, they're passionate. They ask you how you're doing. That was like the first time I came here. It was a situation where I went to the restaurant and then they're like, "Hey, how are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, they don't ask me that in India." But initially, yeah. Even in supermarkets or grocery stores, "How are you doing? How's your day?" Blah blah blah. Yeah. But I'll tell you this: you'll never feel like bored or something, because even though you don't want to go to any other place, you can still like go to the football stadium. It's like always open; like you can get in for free, and then you can like go to the top, watch the sunset, or do whatever you want. And there's so many places on campus. I think we have one, two, four coffee places in campus. And there's Pete's, there's Campus Dining, there's Blue. Okay, there's like 3 main dining halls. And I think right now TCU is expanding behind the business school, if I'm not wrong. And they're gonna build like 4 or 5 new dorm buildings, and they're gonna have a new dining hall in there too in the coming years. So yeah, I will tell you that there's one more thing. It's called the Good Luck Charm for TCU students. So there's like this metal horned frog statue, right? I wouldn't say in the middle of the campus, but inside, like near the center of the campus, where if you touch its nose and then go take an exam the next day, you do really, really good. And then that worked on me, absolutely. It was it was something that I've been doing since my sophomore year, because my freshman year I was like, nah, that's not possible. um, yeah, and yeah, you have so many places to hang out with, even if you don't want to go to a place or like go inside somewhere. You can still walk around campus, and there's like so much greenery. And it's so beautiful because they change flowers around the campus every 2 weeks. So they have like a forestry department where they you see tulips one day, and then the next day you see jasmine. So it's a really good experience. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Like you shed so many spots on campus. I'm sure the students who are going to come to the college this fall or maybe applying this year will be
Yeah.
excited to hear about all of this. Now I would like to know like about your college career center, your alumni
Right.
connect, and what kind of internships you were able to do or get access to. Like if you can just give us,
Yeah.
a brief
Sure.
about all
Yeah.
these.
Sure. So as a CS student, we didn't have like so many employers come to school themselves, but we had our school connect to them because there are so many. I think it's American Airlines and PepsiCo. They have their HQs here in Dallas. So normally those two companies really recruit like all around Texas. And um, we do have a career center at TCU, and they help you, with drafting your resume. They help you with, bringing um, like your new skills, whatever you learned, onto the resume. And they also connect you to like alumni. They also connect you to recruiters. Um, but what I found useful, I mean, one was Career Center. I did use it. I visited them so many times, and then they gave me tips on, how would you message recruiters on LinkedIn? How would you talk to previous employees? Like, say there's like some employee in, I don't know, like Max at, I don't know, at Google or something, and then how would you cold message him on LinkedIn and then get a referral for a position? Um, because normally recruiters from many like big end companies, they like to directly work with a candidate, and at the same time there are like firms which connect the candidates to the companies as a contract role. So you work there as a contractor for 5-6 years, and then they'll change you to like full time. It depends on like how good you work. So I'll tell you this: like, there's so many companies around the DFW area that you can, absolutely just drop in, ask about their company, and then possibly get an interview. But at the same time, you also have a career fair at TCU, where I think it happens maybe once or twice every year. I mean, every semester, where there's sometimes employers from SF or New York, they come back to Texas, and then they just like tour schools around Texas, and then they come to TCU, and then all you got to do is just wear a suit and then take your resume, and you talk about what you got, what you can offer, and potentially you'll get an interview. So there's so many ways that you can navigate when you come here. I mean, at TCU. But at the same time, it all depends upon you. If you're not that kind of person who is like super pushy or like motivated, absolutely, to go, basically get out of the comfort zone and then talk to strangers. That's like the basic main way to network here. Then it would be kind of difficult for you because no one's gonna like um, um, spoon feed you anything. It depends on you on like how outgoing you are, and if there's like a 50 or 100 like people event, and then you just go and then you introduce yourself, and then you get talking, and that's how my initially freshman year, I think my LinkedIn connections were like 12, if I'm not wrong, and then now they like went up to like almost like 460. So that's like the main way that I connected with, basically cold messaging, using the career center, attending career events, and then at the same time ask your professors how you would like access their contacts before, because like there might be so many candidates before, like 10 to 15 years before, that you don't know at all who they might know, and then they might connect you with. So that's like one more thing that would be like super useful when you come to DCU. So yeah, I mean, that's like the main ways that I like, try to get interviews, but I'm excited to see what the future holds for me. So
I
yeah.
guess you have given a lot of tips to, the new scholars that will be coming in,
Yeah,
and how to use the resources that are available, like career center and professor, of course. Now, as we are at the end of our conversation, I would like to know last two things from you. Like,
yeah,
we are excited to know what are you currently doing or what are your future plans, and also
sure.
any words for coming juniors to TCU. Like, what would you like to tell them? How should one thing to motivate them to start the new journey?
Yeah. Um, well, to answer your first question, so right now I'm in the process of closing an offer as a software developer, and my aim is to like maybe work for a couple of years and then go get an MBA. Our my second to answer your question is that if you are a CS major, I'll tell like some tips for non CS majors too. But if you are a CS major, then I would probably recommend that you start lead coding as soon as possible. So that's a verb that we use where there's this website called leadcode.com. And those are like the kind of questions you get in interviews. So it really takes practice. For me, it took like 10 months, I think, of constant like practice every day, like for 2 to 3 hours. So that's like a tip I would give for CS majors. And at the same time, in school, you will be doing a lot of assignments where you're like, I have no idea how to do this. And trust me, you will be there. I have been there, and that's normal. Okay. You don't need to like panic or something. You don't need to think that you're dumb because that's what I did, and that brought my morale down. But that is supposed to happen. Okay, that means that you got put outside of your comfort zone, and then you have to learn something new. For non-CS majors, I would say be outgoing. If you are introverted, I would probably recommend that you to just at least like talk to people who approach you. If you don't feel comfortable, going out and then talking to random people, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, whatever connections you build, keep them. Don't just like try to drift them away, because trust me, like even though you think that oh, he's a finance major, he's not going to help me. I'm a comp sci major. They will help you. Okay, like Mark Mars. Like you will be texting them one night at 3 o'clock in the morning, where you're like, "Hey, can I get a referral for this job at your company?" So yeah, because that's what I did. Initially I was like, oh, like he's an economics major, like I don't need him. And then a couple of weeks ago, I got a referral from the same guy into his company. So yeah, and one more thing is that your sleep schedule might get a little bit disoriented when you first come to college. I'm not saying because of the time zones. No, you'll get habituated to that, but mainly because of the life you have here. You'll be wanting to like initially, even if you go to bed at like 10:30, like initially I was like that. That changed within like 1 week, and then not mainly because of there's two things. Okay, first it's friends. The friends come and then you hang out with them and then you talk with them until like 1 or 2 in the morning. But at the same time, sometimes you'll get assignments where you're like, oh my god, I have until 12 in the midnight to submit it, so I have to like sit on it now, and then you'll spend like some good amount of time. And I've even had situations where I did the mistake of procrastinating a lot. And please don't do that. Just a heads up, like you will regret that, because even me, like at first I was like, yeah, they're gonna say that I'm gonna regret it, but nah, I can get it done. But trust me, don't just don't. Okay. And yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of nightlife, you have really good nightlife here in Fort Worth, and even the Uber drivers are super nice. Yeah, that's something I noticed too. But I'll tell you this, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good it is, I'll probably say it's like a 9 or something. You have good resources, you have really good places to visit, you have really good people to hang out with. It all depends upon you. If you're not taking that first step, it's going to be hard to have a really good life here. So yeah.
One thing you said correctly, that when you build connections, keep them, because you never know who and how they will help you out. So yes, Nitesh, it was like lovely knowing your story, your experiences, and hearing you out, because I believe you truly went candid when it came to the conversation. You truly
Yeah.
shared so many things with us. So I'm sure that students who will listen to you will be inspired and will look forward to their journey at TCU or at any other college they get into.
Yeah. And additionally, I'll put the email in this chat. And then you can give my email like to students who want to talk about like coming to TCU like personally. They want to have a talk. And I'm open to that too.